Hello, everyone. My name is Joseph Cardona. I work at the Indigenous unit at AFTRS. I just wanted to welcome you all the YouTube followers, all of our followers, all the fans of film and TV and radio. I'm going to pass over now to our Elder in Residence, SONIA SMALLACOMBE.
I'm SONIA SMALLACOMBE. I'm the Elder in Residence at AFTRS, and my job today is to welcome you all and also to acknowledge First Nations peoples on the lands where we currently stand. At the moment, I probably would prefer to acknowledge the land of the Bidjigal and Gadigal people of the Eora Nation and acknowledge their contribution to the First Nations people of Sydney. And that's certainly where the AFTRS building stands, on the Bidjigal and Gadigal people's land. But I am also currently residing on the lands of the Yurruganji peoples, which is in far north Queensland. In fact, the place I'm now living was once a meeting place for the Yurruganji and neighbouring groups. They used to meet for months in this beautiful area where I'm living, to trade, to have feasts and to hold ceremonies. So I feel I'm living in a very important place. As I said before, my name is SONIA SMALLACOMBE and I'm a member of the Mataraminji peoples of the Northern Territory. The place I come from is about 2.5 hours south of Darwin in a place called Daly River. I think as an AFTRS elder in residence, I live in I have quite a unique position. And one of this position involves, which was developed by AFTRS, is to recognise AFTRS' commitment to support First Nations perspectives, knowledge and approaches to education, and approaches to the education setting as well. As an elder in residence, I aim to enhance cultural perspectives, to share wisdom and teachings, to promote awareness of cultural traditions and guidance to students, faculty and staff. And as a resident of AFTRS, I'm also available by phone or email if you ever need to contact me. I have a long career, and I don't want to go into this long career, but I'm now not working. I'm now retired and living in this far north Queensland. So I just want to say welcome to everybody, and I'm here if anybody needs me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. I too want to acknowledge the Bidjigal and Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. That's where my house is at the moment, and acknowledge all the creative people out there, all the elders past, present, and all the elders that will path our way into the future. And the future will be bright, I swear. We'll get over this pandemic and everything will go back to normal. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to introduce you to some of the alumni and some of the current students here at AFTRS. So first up on my screen is Keelan. Keelan, did you just want to introduce yourself? And yeah.
Hi, so I'm Keelan Betts. I'm a first year student at AFTRS. It's been a bit hard, of course, with everything going on, but it's been really good so far this year. I'm really enjoying myself.
Excellent. Bronte.
Hey guys, I'm Bronte. I'm a third year student at the BA, and yeah, currently sitting at home, but the course has been pretty good. So cool.
Excellent. Georgia.
Hi, I'm Georgia. That's my twin Maddie. We're Wanneroo storytellers, and we're alumni of AFTRS.
And Maddie?
Yep, I'm Maddie. Yeah, we've graduated the BA Screen Production just this year, last year, sometime. And yeah, that's mine.
Excellent. Izzy?
Hi everyone, my name is Izzy. I am a second year master's student doing directing.
Jake?
I'm Jake. I am one of the student engagement managers working at AFTRS.
And Grant.
Lucky last.
Lucky last.
I'm Grant. I am an alumni. I did a graduate diploma in radio in 2007, 18. I can't remember now, so long ago. And I'm now working in Muswellbrook at the local radio station as the operations and promotions manager and on-air announcer.
Amazing. All right, so the way today will go is I'll be asking everyone on the panel some questions. We'll get some answers. And then we'll open it up to the public. So feel free to jump in anytime with any questions, all of you out there listening. I have my assistant on standby, waiting to give the questions to me. All right, so who can I ask? So Bronte, how did you first become aware of AFTRS? Like, what prompted you to apply for AFTRS?
Well, my best mate Matt was actually in the year above me in high school, and I applied straight out of high school. So when I was in year 12, he was in his first year at AFTRS, and he would ask me to come along and sort of help out on film assignments. And yeah, just sort of being a part of that and watching what he was doing really made me sort of become interested in the whole filmmaking career and the people involved in it. I was always into photography, but I didn't see myself being a photographer. So when I heard about cinematography, I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. I know I should go for that. So yeah, I applied to AFTRS, and here I am 3 years later.
Amazing. And what about you, Grant?
Mine is actually quite an interesting story. I never saw radio as a job, to be completely honest. I was doing community radio for like 10 years or something, and just saw it more of a hobby and a thing that I like to do on the side. And then through the job that I was doing, I had to do community service announcements every day. And one of them that came across my desk was applying for AFTRS radio. And I was like, why don't I do this instead of telling other people to do it? So I also applied while telling the rest of the Indigenous community around Sydney to apply as well. And yeah, I got in and I ended up deferring because I was still doing my university degree. And so I used it as a bit of a kick in the bum to finish my degree. And yeah, finished off all the rest of my Bachelor in journalism and went to AFTRS the next year.
And how long was your course?
Mine was a 1 year full-time course. So it was 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday for about 9 months out of the year. I think January, November and December, we obviously didn't have class. So it was fairly full on.
Excellent, excellent. And Maddie, what did you have any prior credits before you applied at AFTRS?
Yes, Georgia and I both did. And feel free to jump in, Georgia, if I've forgotten anything. But I think we had a broadcasting credit for a documentary for our stories on NITV. We filmed a little bit for the Urban Festival. I don't know. I don't think there was anything else. Georgia, did we have anything else?
No, but I don't think that it's not necessary to have credits. I think that what was really good about Our Stories was that we learned how to tell our stories. And I think that kind of to get into AFTRS, it's more about what kind of stories you can tell and about how you tell them and how you kind of want to share that creativity. And I think we really learned that through what we did with Our Stories, which was really fun and exciting.
And Izzy, you've worked in this industry before. Did you have top level experience, or what do you think the outside people would have to do to get into the masters?
Well, I knew that I needed to have a strong portfolio to be able to be competitive for the masters, specifically for directing. I can't really speak for the other disciplines. And the portfolio kind of requirements to get into, well, even to be, I guess, eligible to be considered, is you have to have, I think, three works that you've directed yourself. They don't have to be eligible credits, as Georgie said. You don't have to have those kind of broadcast or film festival credits, although some students do. And so I applied with, so yeah, not having that maybe 8 or 10 years ago, not having those things as a part of my portfolio. And knowing that I wanted to go to AFTRS in the longer term, I kind of worked to develop that within my own portfolio so that I'd be competitive. And then there's a whole bunch of other things that I got into along the way through doing that. Ended up at Screen Australia, which I think was a good pathway to coming to AFTRS as well. So yeah.
And Keelan, this is your first year at AFTRS. How did you find out about AFTRS?
Well, initially I found out actually at an open day. It wasn't like an on-campus open day. It was like an open day where like all these different universities, like, they pitch different things for you. They try and bring you in, and I was really drawn to AFTRS. The people, I can't remember exactly who it was, but I've seen them around campus all the time. But they were really nice, and they were like, oh hey, do you want to try AFTRS? And it drew me because I've got a lot of like acting experience. Not a lot, but I've got acting experience in like theatre and such. And I always thought of it as a hobby. But when I saw that sort of stuff, I was thinking like, what, maybe I could actually make this like, a career. So I looked further into it, and I really liked what I saw. So I applied, and I got in right after high school.
Did you apply for any courses or short courses, or did you do any outside courses like at TAFE or anywhere beforehand?
Yep. So during high school, I did like a sort of vet course for a game design sort of course, because I play a lot of video games, and that was something that sort of interested me in high school. But that wasn't really the right fit for me. But that was a Certificate 3 in Screen and Media. So that's sort of like, it was sort of setting on the similar pathway of the Bachelor of Arts in Screen Production. But then last year I did a TAFE course in screen production as well. So that was a diploma, and I really liked that. But AFTRS is, let's just say AFTRS is a lot higher esteemed, I think, than the TAFE course I did.
Yeah. So Bronte, what it's kind of the same question as before. Like, why did you want to come to AFTRS, and what did you, I guess, kind of hope to achieve after studying for 3 years in the BA?
So when I first came to AFTRS, it is a bit of a similar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was really wanting to create a really strong and steady group of friends and contacts I can rely on in the future, because, filmmaking, you can't do it by yourself. You have to have friends and groups. So that was a really big thing for me. And I was just so fortunate to have my friend in the year above, because that just allowed me to meet his friends and then their friends in the year above. So I really got to have experience on their sets and learn from them and their mistakes as well when they made mistakes. So no, I think that was probably the main thing, just to come out with a good group of people to stick with.
Yeah. And Grant, what are your big career aspirations? Be alongside Carl and Jackie O?
Well, take them out really is the actual no. I think basically that, as I guess, not superficial, but as conceited as it might sound, my big career aspiration is to be famous and to be the Australian version of Ellen DeGeneres, if you will. Maybe not with all the drama that's going on at the moment, but I just really want to be like out there and a household name, if you will, and get people recognizing walking down the street. And this is why radio was sort of never really a thing that I looked into, because I was always like, oh, if you really want to make it, you got to be on TV. And that's why I did Bachelor of Journalism, to get on TV and to do that sort of stuff. But I think with that, it was very much like you were reporting facts, and you were saying what happened, and this person was killed, and this person happened, and this, and blah, blah, blah. Whereas I wanted to show more of my personality. So I think the radio course was perfect for that. And going into the course, I didn't really have any, I guess, expectations or anything. I was sort of like, we'll go in here, we'll know what we know from Koori Radio, we'll learn a whole bunch of new things, and fingers crossed meet some people, and we'll just see what happens and sort of go with the flow, which I think in my case worked a lot, because I was still doing the breakfast show while doing the radio course at AFTRS. So I was learning stuff all day and then basically putting it into practice the next morning. So it worked in my favor to do that. And I think now, through the course, I've met so many people from industry and a number of different companies like ARN, SCA, Nova, even Grant Broadcasters, which is what I'm working for now. So I've met a whole bunch of people, and I've made some networks and some contacts, and we're slowly but surely making a good impression. And in a couple of years, if you see me, hi, now you know me.
So you're kind of fresh out of school, aren't you? Like not fresh out of, but fresh out of afters. What is it, like a year and a half now?
Yeah, it's a year and a half. Yeah, I when I left afters, I didn't have any jobs or anything. I applied for an internship, which I was turned down for initially, and then the person that got it said no, and so I was second in line, and I was like, sure, I'll do that. So I moved to Victoria, country Victoria, and did a 6-week internship there with the possibility of a job. I didn't really have my hopes high because obviously you never know. And at the end of it, they end up saying, sorry, we don't have the funds or whatever the reason was. And so I was still working at Koori Radio, and I was also working at a hostel as well as a hostel manager of all jobs. And then I finally got a job in Port Augusta and moved over there and absolutely hated it. So 3 months later, I said, no, I need to go, or I need to get a new job. And the stars aligned and the job in Muswellbrook came up, which is 3 hours north of Sydney. And I applied for that, got it, and here I am. And I'm loving it. I'm coming up to 1 year in Muswellbrook now. It'll be September is when I started, so just over a month, and I'll be 1 year in my new job, and it's great. I'm doing so much. It's really busy.
Oh my goodness. Great. That's amazing. So what do you think is your biggest achievement so far? Graduating from afters.
Look, I mean, I think graduating from uni is probably more of an achievement for me just based on the fact that I did it, because I struggled through uni, I can tell you that much. No, I think I wouldn't really put it down to one achievement. I definitely think I've done a number of things that I'm fairly proud of in my life, like graduating from afters, graduating from uni, making it into like the open men's team for netball was obviously an achievement as well. Getting a job for myself was really exciting. Driving halfway across the country was really crazy. So I think there's a number of different things that I would put back on it. I think if I was to choose one, maybe, actually, you know what? Yesterday was a big achievement. I was on air in 2 different markets in New South Wales at the same time, and it was a challenge, but I did it. 4 hours on air. It was great.
4 hours? Gee whiz.
Yeah, in Bega and in Muswellbrook. So don't tell anyone I said that, though.
Georgia, what opportunities, because you graduated last year and then did your virtual online graduation this year.
Yes.
Weird. But what?
It was so cute. They made a playlist.
Hey?
They made a playlist. It was really cute.
Oh my.
Wait, what online graduating thing this year?
Oh, it was just like they sent an email and stuff, and they had like an online playlist. It was like Spotify. It was really cute. Check your emails.
I thought that I didn't go to my graduation. I was freaking out for a second. I was like, why didn't you tell me? Come
on. So what opportunities has Afters given you after you've graduated?
I think coming into the industry at the start of the year, it was kind of a bit of a shock with COVID and whatnot, but I still was able to, well, Maddie and I both, we were very lucky. We were sent by Create New South Wales to AIDC, which is a documentary conference in Melbourne, and that was really exciting. And even while we were at Afters, we were able to network with a couple of people and work on a couple of sets and work on another Our Stories, which was also really exciting. At the moment, we're working on a couple of projects with animation, so it's all coming together. But I think that kind of the most exciting thing that has come out of it is kind of just the people we've met and working with different kinds of people and learning how they tell their stories, which is very interesting for me, because I feel that as Indigenous people, we're storytellers. And so we're still honing our voices, we're still honing how we're going to tell our stories. And I think that that's what I've really gotten out of Afters is how to tell my stories.
And what were your biggest highlights while you were studying at Afters? Apart from meeting me and...
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, there was that. No, I think that it was probably, still that. I think definitely productions. During production period where you're working on different people's sets, you're working on different kinds of stories at the same time. It's all very exciting. You're working with new people, you're expanding your network and your friend group. And I feel like that was probably the highlight for me, was definitely working on those different kinds of projects and those stories.
Yeah. And Izzy, you're studying the Masters. What discipline are you studying? Like, are you focusing on?
Directing, yeah.
And what do you hope to achieve after graduating from AFTRS? An Oscar, like a year later?
Yeah, that'd be nice. I think I'd be pretty content with my short film that I just wrapped on and am in post for, if that could kind of get on the festival circuit and do the rounds, and then whatever comes from that. That would be my immediate kind of desire for post AFTRS life. And then yeah, just to be able to start then having having opportunity to apply for funding to write a feature, and so then also to be kind of in people's minds for directing small spots here and there for either television or stuff like that. I think that'd be ideal for me.
Yeah, amazing. And what? How long is your course?
It's 2 years full time.
2 years full time. So that's Monday to Friday.
It's 3 intense days a week. Yeah, the first year is really intense, 3 days a week, and then we have productions throughout each semester. And then the second year is all research and your master's kind of project, whatever that might be, whether it's directing a short or a pilot episode or a podcast, a whole variety of things you can do in the second year. So, but the first year is production, collaboration, and developing your idea that you're going to then, throw all your weight into in the second year.
Intense.
Is there a question on YouTube for you? It's from Ding Yan. Apologies if I've said that wrong. It's probably a very vague question, but forgive my ignorance here. Just how competitive is it trying to make films after you graduated?
I'm not too sure yet. I haven't graduated, but from being in the industry before and working at Screen Australia, it's like highly competitive, and it's getting more and more competitive because the money's less and less. And so, but in saying that, there is more opportunity for diverse voices and for Indigenous voices as well. So it's kind of balancing out for us in a way. So yeah, it's highly competitive, like really competitive. So yeah.
And Keelan, what type of? I know you've only been at AFTRS half a year, and half of it has been at home. What type of support has AFTRS and staff and student centre and all that? What type of support have we given you?
Well, there is the student centre, which I'm not sure exactly on the hours, but you can send an email, you'll get a response really quickly, just if you had any questions at all. So that's been really helpful. I have taken advantage of that. Like, just ask questions. Like, I asked a question, with the parking, where can I park? So I could drive to on campus. There's another system in AFTRS I really, really like and I've taken great advantage of, is the mentoring system. So the mentoring system is you get a certain amount of hours each semester where you can email, it's like a teacher from all list of different teachers with all these different disciplines, whatever discipline you want, you can ask a certain tutor. And then you get, if you need help with an assessment, or, you just want to have a chat with someone, you can ask for help. And that's been really helpful. And, you get so much time. It's really good.
And Maddie, can you comment on that question as well? What type of support did AFTRS give you when you were there?
While I was there, well, we had a lot of things going on with family, and I think that AFTRS did accommodate that. They understood that, if we had to go back home and, be with family, then they made sure to tell our tutors and made sure that that was all okay. And that didn't impact our studies as well. They kind of understood that. And I think that's really important, especially, for Indigenous mob, we put community first always. And knowing that we have a space that accepts that as well, that's, that definitely changed my experience for my education.
Yeah. And Bronte, have you had any big highlights? What's your biggest highlight? You finish up this year, so 3 years done.
Yeah. So weird to think about. Biggest highlight. There's just so many, I can't really say the biggest, but one that really does stick out to me was the Australian Directors Guild. They had their awards night last year and they needed videographers and interviewers. and they extended that invite to after students. And so I was part of the team to, videotape the whole event, and I got to meet Rachel Perkins and just like these whole amazing group of filmmakers. That was just such an incredible night for me, and to be asked as well was just like so pleasant. So nice. But yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like when if you do come to study at AFTRS, there's filmmakers from the outside are always looking for attachments and like helpers and all that type of stuff. So you get that really first hands-on experience. So that's when filmmakers come to me, and then I come out to the students and say, hey, do you want to work on this job? Sometimes there are blockbuster movies, sometimes they're ads. So it's probably another reason to study at AFTRS. Grant, what type of support did you receive at AFTRS? I know you're a very individual, independent person.
Yeah. Look, I didn't need all that much support, if I'm going to be honest, but I knew that if I did, I could come talk to you or anyone in the Indigenous unit or anyone in the student unit, the student help unit as well. I think the main things that I did come to you guys for were like for you and I both guest lectured the Indigenous protocols for the radio class the other day. And when I did that when I was there, I think it was mainly after that I came up and said, hey, like if I want to cover this story, how do I do it, and blah, blah, blah. So I think you guys helped mainly around that in what I can and can't say. Because I mean, I'm obviously Aboriginal, but I still needed clarification on some things and wanted to just double check as well for when I wanted to do those stories. And we spoke about it in that guest lecture about how a lot of the time they don't get covered because of the fact that people are just a little bit like tiptoey, walking on eggshells type scenario. So I think it's really important to ask those questions and be like, can I talk about this person? Can I talk about that person? And just ask all those questions so that so you can go into it confidently talking about that stuff, because that was where I was a little bit unsure and I didn't want to offend anyone or step on anyone's toes or anything like that. So I definitely knew that I had you guys there to come and chat to if I needed to talk about anything. But I'm pretty sure I was up there in your office just chatting randomly anyway.
Humbugging.
Yeah, exactly. What are you doing for lunch, Joseph? Let's go get a burger.
Or potos.
Yeah.
We've had another question come through on YouTube from Random Channel. What kind of tasks or projects are you given as assignments, e.g. group work, short films, etc.? Does anyone want to take that one?
I can speak on behalf of radio if you'd like. So our class is fairly full on. So you do, as I said, 10 to 5, Monday to Friday. So you get 2 assignments. I think it works out for the full-timers that you get an assignment every 2 weeks. But you also get a lot of time in class to work on them and to, like they dedicate 3-hour blocks to literally work on your assignment or go in the studio or stuff like that. So they timetable it around so that you've got ample time. Obviously, if you want to make it better, do it extra and go above and beyond. But yeah, you get a lot of time to work on those assignments. And with the ones in radio, they're based around whatever you're working on at the time. So the first semester's about like basically a touch of everything, and you do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of on air, a little bit of producing and stuff like that. So the assignments will reflect that and give you like an overview of, like, I think the first one was called History of Radio, and you literally had to make an infograph of how radio has like progressed through the years. So they reflect that, whereas along the track, when you start working on more defined things like news, or for instance, your assignment is do like these 5 stories and fit them into 1 minute. That's what a news person would do. So the assignments reflect what you're learning. There's not a whole lot of group work. It's more like the assignments are more based on you, but I think just by default, will talk to other people and be like, what are you doing for this? And how are you looking at that? And that's sort of where the group scenario comes into it. But that's basically how it works on the radio side of things.
Yeah, go
I can talk on film. So for the BA, it was, we got to do assignments for each different class. So you do about 3 or 6 classes, depending what year you're on, per semester. And each assignment is tailored to that class or that subject. And then at the end of the semester, you do a group project kind of anyone in the year, and that's a short film or, you know, a proof of concept, a short documentary, something like that, based on what the semester was about. And I feel like a lot of the assignments, sometimes you're like, why am I learning this? Like one of my first assignments was you had to make a film festival, and I was like, why would I need to like know this? Like I would just be submitting into festivals, and through that I learned this is what a festival is looking for. This is what they're needing. And I've worked on a film festival. This is now my 3rd year working on this film festival. So I feel like doing these little class assignments as well, they're really preparing you for real life industry experience. So if that answers.
And can I also jump in? So also going off that as well is like when you are doing assignments, and I really struggled with some of the assignments because I didn't understand the language being used. Like there were some big words and I was like, no, like I gotta Google these. But like I also talked to a lot of the staff and, you know, my tutors, and they broke things down for me. They were like, this is exactly what we're looking for. You know, don't try and talk all fancy. Don't try and, you know, do an essay for us. You know, just be real about it and just talk about it like you're having a conversation, because we'd prefer to read that and read your voice rather than read an essay, because we're reading like 60 of them. So like, I think when it comes to like assignments and everything, it can be quite daunting because you think that you have to, you know, do really, really good and stuff. But if you just are authentic to your voice, then you're going to do good anyway. And you have the support there too.
We've got another question from the floor as well. It's question time now. We've got about 15 minutes left. So what subjects would help me apply? I'm in year 10 at the moment, but I'm having to choose electives. So excited. So subjects at high school, I think that's referring to.
So I came straight from high school. What I did was I was very English orientated. So I made sure to definitely do art, because art, you can make anything. You can make a short film, you can make a photographic piece, and I did photography, but the concept was more driven towards a sort of film idea. So I applied with that. I also did English extension, because you can also make a film with that, or like write a script. So I think just, you know, find subjects that allow you to speak and like say your voice and create, because AFTRS are always looking for like stories and authentic individuals. So just find something that you will do good at and be passionate, and you should have hopefully no problem.
I think just with that as well. Oh, sorry, Keelan.
Oh no, you go.
I was just going to mention there's also TVET courses out there as well, where you can basically get a kickstart on your diploma or whatever you want to work towards. TAFE, as Keelan, I imagine you're probably going to say the same thing. You can do that stuff as well.
Yeah, I was about to mention, because I did a vet course and I found that really helpful. So I would highly recommend doing a vet course. But as well, if you're in year 10, you know, that's something to think about. But I would also recommend doing drama. Drama, if you want to become like a director, drama's really good. Because, you know, I'm just learning directing now at AFTRS, and because I did drama in year 11. Oh, I actually did it from year 9 to year 12. And I'm actually realizing that what we're talking about now, I learned 4 years ago, like in year 9. And you know, like I've got a bit of a head start now in this course. So that's, you know, drama's a really good subject.
Also as well, AFTRS hold short courses and summer courses. So as a high school student, you can always jump on board those and be introduced to all the facilities and the teachers, and just sort of make a name for yourself, because they like to put a name to a face. So don't be afraid to reach out for those sort of programs.
Cool. Good answers. I'll probably just slowly start to wrap it up now. And I'll just open it up to the floor to everyone. And this can be just like a personal answer, or a personal answer. So what would you say to someone contemplating studying at AFTRS? Like, why would you go to AFTRS? And, you know, just for a young person.
I feel like it's always the radio person that jumps in first with these ones, because we don't like dead air. So we're like, someone needs to talk. I think to anyone that's thinking of applying for AFTRS, but for radio courses in particular, Give it a go. Firstly, you don't have it doesn't cost anything to apply apart from some time, maybe. So definitely give it a go. The worst that can happen is that they say no. But I think even that when you apply for anything, them saying no is definitely a learning curve. And I've been rejected from a number of different things. And I think it's about taking that on board and going and sort of learning from it, and then doing the steps that reach out to them and say, oh, my application was declined. What can I how can I improve so that next year I might make it, or whatever it might be. But yeah, I think just be ready, be open-minded. A lot of the courses, as Georgia was touching on earlier, you do assignments that you think, I'm never going to do this in real life, but then you actually, you might not do that exact thing, but doing that assignment will teach you a different way of looking at something. So I think that stands for most of the disciplines at AFTRS. So yeah, I think if you're thinking of applying, definitely go for it. You've got nothing to lose. Put all your cards on the table, tell them everything, and reach out and touch them. Not touch them, that sounds weird. Reach out and get in touch with them is what I meant. I'm so sorry that went on live stream. Oh my God. I'm going to mute now.
Georgia, did you want to go next?
Okay, so I think that one of the most important things when applying to this is make things. Just keep making things. Work on some short films now, even if you're in year 10, make some stuff with your friends, learn your voice, and just keep creating. I think one of the things that they're really looking for is how you tell a story. So I think you really get that through experience as well. And I think that having that experience, having that kind of working on different projects and stuff like that, or your ideas, it's really going to help when you're in the course as well. You're going to have some ideas that you want to kind of do when you have kind of more equipment and, crew and stuff like that. So I think, yeah, start creating.
Maddie?
I think, this is why people should apply. Yeah, thinking of applying, just confirming question. Cool. So I think, like I said before, we do things for community. And I think that, if you want to give your community a platform to share their stories and share their voice, then doing it through film is a great idea, because, you can make movies, you can make documentaries, you can share their voices, you can give them a platform. And I think after it teaches you the different, you don't really choose electors until year 3. So you're learning the different crafts through the first 2 years. And that shows you how to film, how to write, how to direct, how to, do all that stuff. And that's really important for documentary filmmaking, where you need to be able to do all of that by yourself, So I think, yeah, do it because, it gives you all its skills you need and networking. Yeah.
Keelan?
So yeah, with with applying, I was sort of I could apply, commit myself. 3 years is a big commitment, for the Bachelor of Arts. But I sort of thought what's the other the other alternative is sort of I thought about it. I couldn't even think of something right now. I can't even think of something to say. The other alternatives is it's applying. What's the worst that could happen with applying? You apply, you get in, awesome. You apply, you don't. There's always next year. So it's there's with AFTRS, there's so many opportunities I've seen. I'm just breaking the surface now. There's so many opportunities within the next 3 years, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Izzy?
Yeah, I think for me as well, applying kind of gave me a kick up the bum too, in terms of getting my own kind of work format, formulating my own ideas and getting a feature idea down on the page, because you have to apply with an idea as in the directing stream that you want to potentially work on while you're there. So that was kind of a good reason for me to apply. I'd had a portfolio. I know there's a couple of students who in the past didn't have a drama short, which you kind of need for the directing stream. And given that that's a requirement, they just went out and shot a drama short, and applied with that and got in. So I know that's happened in the past as well. And it's as simple as 2 people talking at a table in a cafe as a short idea, and you can get really creative with that if you give it the right time. But then also, I guess in the master's space and in the directing stream, if you've kind of been plodding along, doing little bits and pieces here and there, but not really feeling like you're kind of getting anywhere. You know, your network, you're struggling to like build a solid network, then that's a really strong reason to apply as well. And with the masters, you'll get thrown in the deep end straight away, but in a really specific way, depending on the stream that you're in. And you'll be pulled in all different directions. Like the first year, it's very heavily weighted towards collaboration, and as a director, how you collaborate with all of the different disciplines, whether it's production design or editing or music. You're really forced to stretch yourself. And if that's what you want, you know, and that's what you need to, you know, achieve what you want to achieve in the industry of filmmaking, then AFTRS is a pretty good place to do that, because there's nowhere to hide. Once you're in, and you're forced to make new friends in a creative way.
Bronte, did you say something already? Yes. No. Yes.
I just want to jump in just really quickly. I just wanted to say that, especially if you're coming from a community and you're leaving your home, this can be very scary to start something new. But one of the things that I found really great about AFTRS is our Koori Club and our Indigenous unit. We are a family all together, and you're not alone. It may feel like that sometimes, but we've got each other's backs. And I think that that's a really important thing that you should know coming into this, is you're going to know all of us, and we're going to all know you. So
yeah, can I just say something on that too? I wanted to mention that when I was building the team around my idea towards the end of last year, I had my producer fall out. He was external from the school. It was an Indigenous producer. They, for their own personal reasons, had to pull out. And because of the Koori Club, and because of the people that I'd met at the Koori Club during that year, I had an idea to reach out to a specific person, or two people specifically, to help kind of come on board my project. And that's been the kind of, I think, the best thing that could have happened to me at AFTRS, is like finding someone within the Koori Club, because that's something that happens consistently while you're there, that like has now turned into, like, I think it's going to be like a long-term creative collaboration with that person. And so, yeah, that's another, just jumping off what was just said before, what Georgie just said, it's a good opportunity for that kind of stuff, to collaborate with other blackfellas, you know, because of the Koori Club. Yeah.
Can I quickly add something as well, just on applications? I know this for radio in particular, and I would imagine to some extent for the other classes as well. A big thing that the people that look at the applications are looking for is passion, and just genuine passion for whatever you're trying to get into. So there are a number of people in my year in particular that had next to no radio experience, hadn't really done much in radio. One chick came directly from events management. And they just basically sold the fact that they love radio and that they really wanted to get into it, and they just genuinely had passion. And obviously the people saw it, and those people, my classmates, have gone on to have amazing careers in radio at the moment. So as I said, I definitely know it's a situation in radio, and I imagine it'd be for the other disciplines as well. But if you can prove that you're genuinely passionate for making film, making TV, making podcasts, making radio, whatever it might be, that elevates your application just that much more, and even trumps certain things to an extent as well. So yeah, definitely show that in your application.
Amazing. Thank you all. So Sonia, do you have any last remarks?
Yes, all I can say is, as a mother of a person who did documentary film at AFTRS, I think one of the things I noticed was she, since she was 2 years old, used to watch every film, and still a crazy person that goes to watch a film like once or twice a week now. So if you know, that, as Grant was saying, that kind of passion, I think, is really, really important. And if you've got that passion, I think that will get you where you want to be. But having said all that, I mean, I think AFTRS is a great school. I think, you know, the people that you have spoken today, you can pick up the passion there already in them. And in a few years' time, I'm sure, not even a few years' time, I already know that some of you are already doing some great work. So please apply to AFTRS.
Thank you so much. So yeah, just to top that all off, when you do come into AFTRS, I what everyone's talking about is this Koori Club, which is a collaboration of all the Indigenous students at AFTRS. And we just sit around, we eat pizza and just chat, talk, let it all out. So we do that once a month. There's also different, when you do apply for AFTRS, there's also scholarships available. We have the most amazing school and equipment. We're one of top 15 best film schools in the world. So I just wanted to say, guys, thank you so much for your time on a Saturday. I hope you all stay safe, keep creating, and we'll see you on the red carpet or at AFTRS. Thanks all.